Okay, we're recording.
Okay. So if you want to talk to one another, if you have questions for people that you love and you want to ask them about their lives or anything, go ahead, because I'd like to start in about 3 minutes. And if you have some news that you want us to know, please let us know.
I had a special message in the chat earlier to have Samuel be seen, so that's why I showed my dog for a little bit, because he's my life.
So there's a picture of your dog in the chat. I don't see it.
Oh no, I made sure to, put him on screen for a little bit.
Oh,
There he is.
He's cute.
Come on, Samuel. Look at everyone.
What's his name?
Samuel.
Samuel.
Yeah.
Did he have a little hat on earlier?
He does have one. It looks
Okay.
like this.
I'm glad I'm not hallucinating.
There's his hat.
Oh, that's precious.
Yeah.
We had a Weinerhammer. We had a sausage dog named Precious.
Oh, that's a lovely name.
I was a little boy when we had him.
Aw.
And I was in Orlando. So welcome, Samuel. Is Samuel going to sing or do a poem today?
I think he's gonna take a nap.
Okay. And
Samuel.
Mr. Malash.
Yeah, he finally showed up.
Yeah, I was took the shortcut.
Boy, there's a room full of veterans over there, I see.
Yeah.
And I'm putting you and Bruce down. And someone else just showed up. Dolores, yay. Al, did you let her in?
Yes.
Okay, we have a cat now. What's the cat's name?
This one is called Miso.
Kumisa, and she is from
It's
India.
called- No, she's Miso, as in so we've got two cats. One's called Sesame and one's called Miso, like the Japanese.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Makes me want to have a dog named what's that stuff the Mixtec Indians make that's so good? Joe knows. Joe, do you want to say anything to Theresa about why you wanted her in the anthology, activist anthology?
No, but congratulations for being in. We're glad that you're here.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Joe. Good to see you. Hey, gentle people. I'm one of those people that didn't want to be recorded. So their face anyways. Voice is fine.
When is the anthology coming out?
So do you want Al to stop recording when your feature starts?
I don't mind not having my face on the in the recording. I wouldn't mind it being just verbal or audio.
that's-
I'm
yeah,
fine
that's-
with that.
I just want to make sure we understood what you wanted. That'd be fine.
Yes, no worries.
Did you see your sister Dolores is here?
Yes, I do. And who's that with Joe? I know his face. I can't remember the name. He's another veteran, got a beautiful wife. And we used to sit together sometimes on Adams Avenue. Help me with names.
Joe, Joe's unmute yourself so Bruce can talk.
Bruce.
Yes.
I'm waving at you. Hi, Bruce. Good to
Oh,
see you.
bless you, sister.
Give
Yeah, we're
thanks.
still
You look
going.
great.
Yeah, yeah, she likes the poetry.
So Joe, when is the anthology coming out?
I have no idea.
Okay.
As far as I can see, years.
Oh,
We've been working on it for the last 6 months. I just sent it overnight to the publisher. And we will hear from him, yay or nay, in the near future, and we'll have a better idea about his schedule. But he published our last book that we did with Mary Cowett, and he just made the book much better. So
right.
we'll let you know when we know.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and start this little clam bake. I am so happy to see all of you. I'm so happy when I left for Florida for Christmas, I was burnt out, old man, and my family gave me lots of love, lots of good food, and I couldn't make it a working vacation because my sister, who's 80, her equipment didn't allow me to get to my email.
Oh, wow.
And so I did nothing with work, and I just relaxed the whole time I was there. And when I came back, Joe and I talked about how we're ready to continue the fight. And so this poem is called Another Verse of Mississippi Blues. I'd like to start with this poem. I've worked on it the last 2 days, and it starts with 2 epigrams. The first one is by a line from the song Angel from Montgomery by John Prine. If dreams were lightning and thunder was desire, this old house would have burned down a long time ago. And the second epigram is a Native American saying, the left wing and the right wing are part of the same bird. And here's the poem. I hope you like it. Did you ever wake up on a Saturday morning, the poem whispering to you, saying, I want to be born? The poem said 50,000 new COVID cases in San Diego County, December 24 to January 5th, and there ain't no bounty on Agent Orange. The poem was sad and said 50,000 new COVID cases, COVID-19, Delta, Omicron. Americans still dying, still getting sick. Innocent angels from here to Montgomery, from Montgomery to Jacksonville, from Jacksonville to Key West. And there ain't no bounty on dubious Caesar. The ones who die are not vaccinated or boosted. The ones who are sick are. The ones who die are white, rich, paranoid on AWP, automatic white privilege, on the arrogant conveyor belt to death. Not innocent angels from Montgomery. No bounty on the defeated former hesitant, spoiled boy, smoke and mirrors. A moment of silence, please. A moment of silence for the 400,000 Americans who died on his watch. One American died every 6 seconds on his watch. A moment of silence for our citizen human beings who did not have to die if compassion action existed in his heart. Thank you. We poets don't sow hate. We poets don't want anyone to suffer and die a COVID-19 death. The ultimate Mississippi blues. Don't the Delta look lonesome when the evening sun go down? Don't the Delta look lonesome when the evening sun go down? You've been looking kind of shady. Used to be, don't come around. We poets are frustrated and tired, but we won't give up the fight. We know if President 44 had served a third term, there'd be no deaths from COVID-19. Like there was no deaths from Ebola. There'd be no deaths from Delta or Omicron. He followed the science. He cared a lot about our country. He cared a lot about you. You non-vaxxers, non-boosters, did not know President 45 was not the village idiot. He was the world idiot, con man, Darth tax evader. Was he thinking about Stormy? You believed his lies and delusions. Abra scam, Lincoln, lost the election. He lost. He's the defeated foment president. Let's not lose more Americans. Let's not be students of hate and ignorance. Let's be students of science and unity. Let's foster rainbow privilege. Let's bring back calm and courtesy. Let's stop insulting fellow citizens. Let's start growing constructive criticism. That's America in my freedom mind. Mississippi blues, so early on a Saturday morning, sings a soulful sound. Going back to our used to be, where there's right and wrong. Going back to our used to be, so we sing a freedom song. Well, I think I'll have to be there. Ain't no reason for living sick and alone. Thank you. Welcome to Second Sunday Jihmye Poetry. We have my beautiful sister with us today, Theresa F., who is waiting to knock your socks off, like I know she will. And we also have our Zoom master, Mr. Alfred Williams, who is making sure if there's any Zoom bombers around that, well, we won't have anything to worry about. He will 86 them as quickly as he can. We also want to thank him for recording this. And if you didn't hear the announcement, if you don't want to be recorded, please take your video off and change your name. And that way we want to give you a choice if you're not comfortable being recorded. And we hope to have Mr. Skills, Mr. Williams, work on this video and have it ready for YouTube, because we want your messages, we want your talent to be on the internet and be more visible. And so please remember, if you are here to read, please put your name in the chat room if I haven't already called you out as being covered. Please remember you have 2 poems or 5 minutes. And after we have half of you read, then we're going to put Miss F on to tell us about what she's been writing about. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. You all know where the restroom is if you need to use the facilities. And if anybody has any cookies or popcorn or anything they want to share, please do. If you're in England right now and you're listening, we also eat crumpets. So if you want to provide those, that would be neat. And all dogs and cats are welcome. So here's our first poet. This is a young lady who approached me probably a year or 2 ago. And she wanted to be part of Second Sunday. And she did a feature for us. And boy, did she do a good job. This is Anjali Nunn.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This one is for a very special person. It's called Keep On Living. Engagement is a term I don't use lightly. Engaged is what I feel careening into your stories of war and reconciliation, of relationships, of past loves, and of past lives. Engaged is what I mean. Things cannot be unseen when I tell you that talking to you makes me want to live, makes me want to forgive the past at last, where the past had been keeping me stuck, getting all of that muck out of the way, the past which had dragged me down onto the ground where I am kneeling, seething through my teeth at the injustice which was cast upon my vulnerable self, yet vulnerable no more. You are seeing the emergence of a lioness. Fight me until your knuckles turn blue, for I am through crying for abusers. I am through dying for the past. This is where I cast all of that aside and start living for me, for I am an entity to be reckoned with, beckoning you to follow my footsteps as I cautiously pave the way for others like me who have suffered abuse at another's hands. I am one strand away from lighting up the world, for I have heard that you too have started living, really living, and that is giving me a reason to keep on going. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjali. Really good to see you here. And I believe you're coming to us from LA.
From San Francisco.
Oh, okay, up at the city.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for your commute. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our next poet and I have been performing together for years and years. She's a musician, she's a professor. She is a woman who keeps her finger on the political pulse at all times, whether it's at her university or whether it's in the community or whether it's in the ethers. Whenever we have a conversation, she calls me or I call her. We're on the phone for a long time because she feels deeply about the issues. Please welcome a very talented poet and a very big part of my America. This is Dolores Fisher.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I've been working on my newest book, Jim. We still have to talk some more. And doing like most of you who probably are finding all sorts of half done poems and snippets all around the house under tables and bookshelves and okay. But I found one that I think I might resurrect. It's from my first book in 2006, From the Meadows of Beyond. This is dedication. These poems are memories of those whose refracted lives have been, are, and sadly will be consumed by co-opted watchers who dine on their creativity from behind the veil of two-way mirrors and abstract institutions' concrete walls. We, crushed beneath stereotype and myth, sob silently into leaching, blind, corrosive embrace of a too often noxiously media-saturated, dead-weight, labyrinthine, complicitous life. We, with shredded chi, laugh. Teethy, ice red slashes across horizons, nascent sunrise warmth, and sing lullabies of sapphire blue tears and still water cool moonlight masks. For indeed, we do wear the mask. We wear it well. Memory of continuum eternal. We who have gone before, we who are, we who will be. We must not forget. These poems are memories. Thank you.
Thank you, Dolores. Thank you. looking forward to hearing more about that book. Well, I used to think that this next poet taught history for 2 millennium, but then I found out from a friend of his, it's 3 millennium that he taught history. We always appreciate his reading voice. We also appreciate the deepness of his poems. This is Chris Ernest Nelson.
Thank you. Thank you, Jen. Changes. Someone took the lid off the sky and let the light in on me. Shadows lifted up like vapors, and all contrasts turned to white. What once were clouds became a rain of laughter in my appealing eyes, while birds flew in orbits around my flashing hair. He took the earth from under my feet, and the barking abyss jumped up to catch my fall. All the signposts let their arms go limp, so every avenue met at the park to chase circles and drink from the giggling fountains. Everywhere arrived in a taxi, but he didn't pay the fare because the driver knew him well. He waved him off with the satisfaction of one who already has enough. I heard music from a distance hop and skip across my shoulders and land like candy in my hungry ears. Each note had its own magic to reveal, and all mysteries and all doubts fled before the bounding light. And one more. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening. This is dedicated to all of us here today on this Zoom meeting. Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Albert, for helping us facilitate this gathering. Circle of friends. Barefoot in soft grass, under a smiling sun, with warm hands holding warm hands, and eyes that say, I love you, without knowing what such words mean. Each burst of laughter sustains the circle and drives the engine of absolute satisfaction. And when they all fall together, but only to embrace. Laughing all the while and calling names with mock contempt to knit the circle once again. Every other one without regard, grandly offering to lift his friend. In the night, before mothers call them home, they lay shoulder to shoulder in perfect symmetry, all eyes fixed on the stars and secure in the circle of being. Thank you.
Chris, you still have some of those books for sale?
Actually, no, my book has been fully distributed, so I'm waiting till my birthday in spring to issue my 4th edition with 540 pages.
And how would we go about ordering that book in the spring?
I will be sure to make sure everyone knows, and you can email me at my email. I'll put it on the message here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that 4th edition. It'd probably be my last.
Okay, yeah, please put your email address in the chat for anybody who might be interested in that. We really want to support all our poets. I want to welcome Julio Cesar Aguilar. Welcome from Baylor University. And I'm going to put your name on the reading list if you would let me. That be okay? Thumbs up on you reading today, please. All right. Yeah, I'm really glad you read 2 poems because I think for the people that just read 1 poem, you were wetting our whistle. So please read 2 poems today. You have plenty of time. And if either Anjali or Dolores wants to read another one, please let us know. I'm going to call on someone who is not in our country right now. She's across the pond, and we always enjoy it when she's here. This is Liz Tail.
Thank you for having me. Dare we? Dare we believe a new era is dawning, bringing with it a day of reckoning? Do I sense a sea change, a pull on the relentless tides that have decimated lives and left brokenness in their wake? Dare we believe a new era is dawning now that women are speaking and Me Too is unleashing and some are even braving and openly naming, now that the voiceless are having their say, sometimes after decades, and collective consciousness appears to be waking from its slumber? Dare we believe a new era is dawning when sister voices finally unite and shout louder than shame and fame and threats, when their voices shout louder than authorities and denials and vows and NDAs? Dare we believe a new era is dawning when society is educated, when women are empowered, when the law stands with the abused, not the accused, when awareness and education are aligned with the scale of abuse, the full, weighty scale of abuse? Dare we believe a new era is dawning when those who are trusted and revered and endowed with power are no longer above reproach, when policemen, priests, teachers and sports coaches, politicians and pop stars no longer have immunity to abuse with impunity whilst confidently dancing above suspicion? Dare we believe a new era is dawning when those that speak out are heard and believed and validated, when conviction rates for rape get out of single figures, when provision for trauma survivors is affordable and accessible and suitable, and the long-term consequences of abuse in all its guises is fully known and acknowledged? Dare we believe a new era is dawning when men, gentle men, who on account of their own innocence have heads firmly planted in the sand, will rise up to stand with sisters, mothers, friends and lovers and call their mates to account, blowing the whistle back on gropers, abusers, rapers, users? Dare we believe that a new era is dawning where in the corridors of high schools, high churches and high courts, of boardrooms, bedrooms and chat rooms, abuse in all its forms is not tolerated and domains are adequately legislated, protection policies are enacted and denials pursued until retracted? Dare we believe a new era is dawning when young boys will grow up being taught boundaries, respect and consent, where awareness and assertiveness and knowledge of the law accompany honest conversations about difficult situations and they feel equipped to intervene? Dare we believe that a new era is dawning when our most respected establishments are no longer agar plates for the cultivation and perpetuation of abuse, where uniforms and vestments, Oscars and peerages no longer provide a disguise, where white halls and white houses, academies and campuses are free from intimidation and molestation? I am daring to believe, or am I believing to dare, that change is on its way? Thank you.
No longer have immunity to abuse with impunity. We just indicted, the Justice Department of our country just indicted 7,000 people that were in the Capitol riots. I don't know if that news made it to England, but my hope is that it goes all the way to the top and Mr. Dubious Caesar is indicted too. You don't have another one, Liz? Would you like to read another one?
Yeah, I can do another one.
Please do.
This one I wrote fairly recently, so I've not read it before. I don't know if you're aware, but we are very close to France, and there are refugees who are trying to cross in little rubber boats. Even in the winter, they're trying to come across. And about a month ago, there was a tragedy, and a boat went down with about 50 people in it. And a couple of days later, they put photographs up of some of the people who had died. And so I wrote this. Mariam. Today we saw her face, Mariam Nuri Amin, who gathered up her dreams, desperations and expectations, stepped into a rubber boat, overloaded with hope, sponsored from the shadows by greed. She was born in the same year as my daughter, loved as my daughter, ambitious like my daughter, yet fate and war marginalized, compromised, and terrorized, compelling her to seek safety and reunite with love. But governments that should know better, drowning in their own incompetence, compounded by collective impotence, did not respond to her petitions or care to process her applications. Legitimacy curtailed as systems failed. Options obstructed a source. So a fiancé waiting in expectation in this hope and glory nation listened to cries on a mobile device and stood in line to identify the still damp body of his bride.
Thank you, Liz. I'm going to put my email in the chat, and I'm going to be in a juvenile hall classroom tomorrow. And if I would have your permission to read both of those poems to my students, they're 14 to 18 years old. And I'd like to let them hear those poems as a way to write free verse in an expert manner. You really just did it well. Thank you very much. And if with your permission, I'd like to read those tomorrow. My class starts at 10 o'clock and it's over at noon. And I see your poems from England influencing brown and black and Asian children in a good way. Are you ready for the feature, everyone? Oh, wait a minute, we got a hand up. Mr. Malash, do you have a question for us?
No, I just had the hand up.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Oh,
I thought they were.
you were
Yeah,
applauding. You were applying those points. Well, me too. Me too. So let me ask you one more time. Are you ready for our feature?
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah, go for it.
You know what I would do next if we were at the space bar? I would say, is that all the energy you have? And she's coming all the way from Maryland, but you've done a good job. That's good. Oh, how can I introduce her? Oh, we've been friends forever since I had hair. And we performed together in the Langston Hughes Poetry Circle. She gave us a place to meet when we were kind of running out of a place where we could meet. And it was at a nonprofit we worked at. She's an incredible mom. Her son Zion, her daughter Jamila, I'm very close to, but mostly I think one of the times that I really pinched myself, we were performing at the Lyceum, and it was a thing called Kumbha Fest. It was for Kwanzaa, and we were on that stage with probably about 12 to 15 other poets, maybe a few less, I'm not sure, but she just always included me in social justice thinking and in social justice action. This is Theresa F.
Red man first control this land, then Babylon come take command. Red man first control this land, then wicked one come take command. By raping red woman, filling her with disease. That's the only reason they lost Wounded Knee. You come with peace, you say, but truly speak with forked tongue. All the while preaching peace through the bullets in your guns. Red man first control this land, then wicked one come take command. Red man first control this land, then Babylon come take command. First you come with disease and gun, then your missionaries have their fun. Oh, first you come with disease and gun, and then your missionaries have their fun. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. America for the Indian, Africa for the African. I am very honored to be here. Give thanks and praise to the Creator and the Most High for another day above ground. I am blessed and honored to be here. Thank you, Brother Jim. Thank you, Brother Alfred, and the rest of my siblings joining me right now on this Zoom screen. The sobriety journal that you see here was created by one of our sisters from Zambia. I have known this woman since 2014 and she created it. It's on Amazon and I am so proud of her turning dreams into reality. So just wanted to throw that out there real quick. And once again, thank you all and everyone's poems so far, blowing my mind. So grateful to be here. I am going to go here right now. This is going to be called Name That Poet. Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain, seeking a home where he himself is free. America never was America to me. Let America be the dream that dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great, strong land of love where never kings connive nor triumphs scheme, that any man be crushed by one above. It never was America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free. Say, who are you that mumbles in the dark? And who are you that draws your veil across the stars? I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the ways of satisfying need, of work the men, of take the pay, of owing everything for one's own greed. I am the farmer, bondsman to the soil. I am the worker, sold to the machine. I am the Negro servant to you all. I am the people, humble, hungry, mean. Hungry yet today, despite the dream, beaten yet today, oh pioneers. I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker bartered through the years. Yet I'm the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world while still a serf of kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings in every brick and stone, in the every furrow turn that's made America the land that it has become. Oh, I am the man who sailed those early seas in search of what I meant to be by my home. For I'm the one who left dark Ireland's shore and Poland's plain and England's grassy lay and torn from Black Africa's stand, I came to build a homeland of the free. The free? Who said the free? Not me, surely not me. The millions on relief today, the millions shot down when we strike, the millions who have nothing for our pay, for all the dreams we've dreamt, and all the songs we've sung, and all the hopes we've held, and all the flags we've hung, the millions who have nothing for our pay except the dream that's almost dead today. Oh, let America be America again, the land that has never been yet, and yet must be, the land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, Indians, Negroes, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again. Name that poet. It wasn't me. Name that
Langston
poet.
Hughes.
Yes, thank you, Sister Dolores. And he wrote that how long ago? And how we living today? Langston Hughes was a poet, a prophet, and a musician, all rolled up in one of my heroes. Thank you for letting me read that. And that's just a portion of it. It goes on and on. All right, thank you for that. The next poem is one of mine. It's called Moral Monsters. Things that go bump in the night no longer fill me with fright. It's the moral monsters that scream in the light, flocking daily outside the house that's white, that cause me to have daymares, dodging hate-saturated stares, as I am caught in the act of hugging or not covering my face, discharging ever-changing governmental edicts, killer viruses circling in air. Moral monsters have money lining their lairs. Demons no longer concealing faces with white sheets, formal endorsements permitting open attacks on public streets, striking out at airports, on subways and graveyards like diarrheal beasts. Moral monsters vomiting their fear at their target's feet. Blonde hair with blue eyes heralded once again as the epitome of beauty. Blue uniforms versus black, brown, yellow, and red skins, legalizing a vile sense of duty, reminiscent of Hitler's Germany, enabling the assassination of Black children armed with Skittles, iced tea, and a hoodie. Moral monsters mutilate with diseases, ballots, bullets, and alternative facts. An arsenal of repeals, bans, and amendments aimed at our backs. Trolls defending odious computer hacks, safeguarding immoral liberties through illegal phone taps. Things that go bump in the night no longer fill me with fright. Instead, it's the moral monster encased in an obnoxious orange pelt that screams in the light, who now resides in the house that's white, a carrier of division, ignorance, and strife that we all must fight. Thank you. This one's called Duck. Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting wabbits. It's duck season. No, it's wabbit season. Thou shalt not kill. Vampire killing season. Zombie killing season. For omnivores, excuse me, it's always cow, chicken, and turkey killing season. Duck season, wabbit season. I thought I saw a putty cat. You shall not murder. Black Panther murder season, crackhead murder season, Taliban murder season, homeless murder season. What about shoot down unarmed Black town, tan, brown, red men and women season? It's America. It's in America. It's always transgender and LGB hunting season. Today it's ISIS season, which means Muslim hunting season in Paris. Collateral damage season. Will it ever be goodwill hunting season? I thought I saw a putty cat. Wabbit season, duck season, wabbit, duck, duck, us, duck season. Thank you again. One of my other favorite poets right now, and has been for a while, Jim and I were honored and had the privilege of sharing that stage for the Kumbh Fest. It actually happens in February in San Diego every year, celebrating Black History and Her Story Month. And we shared the stage with this young poet. I'll let you guess who it is. I'm still learning to love the parts of myself that no one claps for. That's one of his. Here's another one. I imagine somewhere in the future, there is a better version of me. He is watching this moment, brandishing a smile and saying to himself, I knew everything would work out. Name that poet.
Too short for Aunt Black. Short for Rudy.
Exactly is. It's his
Rudy.
little snippets he's putting out. It's Rudy Francisco.
Francisco.
Yes. Good answer. So Rudy, my gosh, Jim, can you imagine who knew way back when? What we knew because his talent was so big then, but to explode and be shared with the world like it is, what an honor and a privilege. Who knew?
All the way
Who knew?
to the Tonight Show. He was on the Tonight Show, not the Colbert one, but the Jimmy Fallon one, I think.
Yes,
And
yes,
he,
yes, yes.
He read the
So-
poem Rifle.
Yes, yes, yes. So one of the things that I'm doing right now, gentle people, is I'm working real hard on learning to love and honor and cherish myself. This poem is called, okay, everybody's heard of the I am poem format that's out there. There's a bunch of different versions of it. So this one is called I am ACEs. And if you don't know what ACEs stand for, it's Adverse Childhood Experiences. The CDC there was research done out of San Diego, as a matter of fact, by Kaiser, looking at the fact that if you have out of 10 questions, I think they're expanding them now, but 60% of Americans, and adult Americans, have experienced 3 or more ACEs, adverse childhood experience. So this poem is called I Am ACEs. I am the addict child of an alcoholic mother whose mother drank every day. I wonder what my mother's childhood interactions with her mother looked and felt like. I hear my adult children's inner children crying for the safe, secure, and consistent nurturing they needed 22 years ago. I see my adult children whose biological mother was a drug addict through lashes heavy with shame. I want them to thrive in spite of the ACEs handed down from generations to generations. I am the addict child of an alcoholic mother whose mother drank every day, who is in active discovery. I pretend to forgive myself, my mother, sperm donor, father, and white Jesus. I feel my shoulder tense, my throat closing, and my lungs searching for air. I touch the volume button repeatedly until I no longer hear my own screams. I worry that my biological children, whose mother was an addict, will continue the family business of scarcity of self-value. I cry when I hear my children's pain from their non-acceptance of the things and people they cannot change. Bewilderment when they keep doing the same things, expecting different results, and constant fear of the future. I am the addict child of an alcoholic mother whose mother drank every day, who is in active recovery. I understand that forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could be different. I say face it, feel it, deal with it, heal from it, and help stop it. I dream of lounging on a beach in Kenya surrounded by others who are in active PIMS healing, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual healing. I strive to be a loving parent to my inner children and my biological children, one day at a time, because Easy does it, working it because we are all worth it. I am the addict child of an alcoholic mother whose mother drank every day, who is learning to love, honor, and cherish herself and her children, overcoming one ACEs, one day at a time. Thank you. When I look into your eyes, I can see the love you have for me way down deep. Someday it will rush forward with a graceful leap into the forefront of your irises and sway out through joyful tears. It may take days, months, or even years before you're able to look me in the eye and express the real love you feel for me. Ignoring past mistakes, current self-doubts, and hate, you will one day be able to appreciate the gifts I have to offer. Smile so big and bright, the sun is envious of its light. Throat that magically sings, using positive words toward changing things. Caring and sharing, soul heart of gold, hips that rock ships. Can't wait till this love is freed from its current captivity. So go ahead and look me in the eye as I say goodbye, and know without a doubt that you are worthy and I love you. Goodbye, mirror. I will finish with America with 3 Ks. Thank you so much. Loving the energy. Thank y'all. Land of the what? Home of the who? Land that I why? Go back to Africa, they say, love it or leave it, they scream. But wait a minute, how soon they forget. My ancestors are the unwilling immigrants who had no choice in it. Unwilling immigrants. We had no choice in it. Took us away captivity, tried to control our destiny. Now they expect me to be satisfied as I watch my people die. Profit over human life, to which they think they have a right. Unwilling immigrants, we had no choice in it. You brought us over in your ships. You brought us over with your whips. We had no choice in it. God, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, Jah, Mother Earth, bless the world, not just America. The World Trade Center has fallen down. World trade, slave trade, it all sounds the same to me. Land where 4 children died on 9/15, 9/15 in 1963, on their knees in prayer at church in Birmingham, Alabama. They lost their lives before they even knew what life was. Terroristic acts on American soil is not new, but today it finally troubles you. Police brutality, drive-by killings, racial profiling, poverty, sexism, homelessness, racism, abortion center bombings, homophobia, rape, the death penalty, prisons, child abuse, substance abuse, and the fact that movie stars and athletes make more money than school teachers. Now these are just a few acts of terrorism that scare me. They scare me into action. What about you? Thank you.
Brava, brava.
Thank you. Thank you. Siblings, cousins, family, and as Jim and I know, all my relations give thanks.
if we were all in the same room, I think people would be stomping their feet and clapping. That's for sure. You know, it's just past midnight in England, and our friend from across the pond is still with us. And I would like to say that has something to do with our feature. Can we give her some more love, please? That was really, really strong. Really nice.
Yes, yes, well done.
And we will look forward to when you have your nonprofit together and you would like us to be part of your village. Would you say a little bit about that, please? I think that's a really important part of your heart right now.
Definitely so. So, yep. God is willing, with the help of my 5-member board, we will be launching What Every Child Needs. And what every child needs obviously comes out of from what you heard in my poems. What every child needs is to be loved, honored, and cherished. What every child needs is going to be a part of preparing the village to raise a child, because we always talk about what happens, you know, it takes a village. And I say Orange Man is an example of what happens when the village is messed up. So I am working on submitting our 501c3 IRS form by the end of this month. Once again, one of my pushing my realities up to my dreams instead of bringing my dreams down to my reality. And what I hope to do is, like he said, I am going to have a page that's going to be called Village, Members of the Village. And so anyone who is interested in having your logo or your anything that it won't be a link to your business per se, but it would have your logo up there, because I want to let people know about all these wonderful resources that are out there on earth, all over the world. Okay, so Jim knows how to get a hold of me. And once again, I appreciate you all and am honored to have this opportunity to be the first poet for January 2022. Give thanks.
And she and I talked a bit before we started today, and I'm going to put that information out on my email list. If you're not on the email list, I don't know how you found us, but welcome. And if you'd like to be on the email list, please put your email in the chat with your first and last name so I know who you are. And I will send that out to you so you can be part of her village. Thank you so much, Theresa. In the chat right now, there's a whole bunch of information from our poets. Anjali has some information about how you can get a hold of her book. Chris Ernest Nelson has some information. I'm trying to remember everything I read. Christopher R., did you let everybody know about the poetry party and that stuff? I forget if you did. Christopher R., did you do that?
Yep, it's in there.
Okay, it's in there. All right. So anyway, we're going to continue on with this nice little clam bake. And I want to thank all of you who came. So I'm going to ask Christopher R. if he'd be willing to go next. And he's a gentleman who has a group of poets who perform regularly. He also has poetry readings for free twice a month in Balboa Park. And I think he'll be able to tell you about that too. He's a very strong person with the Shakespearean genre, but he also has his own genre. I don't know anybody else who reads like this man. This is Christopher R.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I have a couple of new selections I've been working on. This one's called Deja Vu on You. Everyone argues about what words we use to describe what and who has been abused, and what atrocities are heaped upon our American dreams, while others claim the damage is not what it seems. Just windows, doors, and walls violated by those with a cause, expressing influenced by who would manipulate some laws. expressing great desires to stop the steal, like in the years 2000 and 2016, the art of the deal, with butterfly ballots and hanging chad, when others like me felt we'd been had. We were robbed, ripped off by the law of the land. When the vote is over, we're supposed to join hands, proclaim democracy's virtues, no matter how fickle we are, because we're still a team. That's what got us this far. Thank you. We do a program the last Friday of each month. I put it in the chat. It's called Poetic Legacy. And before Christmas, we pick a poet. We print some of their poetry up and we share it in a group, and then we write a prompt at the end of it. And this was a prompt that I wrote from last month when we studied Victoria Chang. This is called Touch Down. Had a stroke, half good, almost bad, ironic, absurdly fortunate luck. Let's pass out a few bricks. What? Let's pass out a few bricks shy of a load. There you are, where you were, was not there with feeling. Don't miss a mister on foggy nights. Cats see better with whiskers, by the way. You made up your mind, assuming the worst. You found your way out. Pointless directions without cause, taking pause for effect. Who knows? Who asked? Knock, knock. Who cares? Who's who? Why not? Well, since you know, or was that an echo? Just about. Thank you.
I just figured out your genre. It's a cross between Shakespeare and free verse, Saturday Night Live, performed with the energy of Robin Williams.
You forgot Firesign Theater.
Firesign Theater. Thanks for coming, my brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do for poetry here in San Diego. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Okay, everybody doing okay? You got your money's worth so far? So I'd like to call on my co-editor now. We've been working the last 6 months on an anthology of 22 poets and an essay writer. We've never had an argument. We've been frustrated with the process, but not with each other. He has an MFA in poetry from San Diego State, and he knows a lot about craft. He knows a lot about how to get a book published. And I've learned a lot from him. This is our second book that we're working on together. And he just really knows when to do something and how to do it. He has written a lot of poems about his beloved Patsy, his wife of 20 years who passed away from cancer. And he's a man who's the poster man for when you're married and you do that vow of in sickness or in health. He stayed with her until her last breath, his beloved Patsy. And I really admire him very much for the way he honors the woman in his life in the relationship. This is Joe Malash.
Thanks, Jim. I'd like to do this one poem. It's dedicated to the Irish goddess of spring, Song to Bridget. After an all-night rain, these Irish lakes are clear. The trout are restless. They swim near the shore and underneath the shadows of the hooded crows. The air is icy and clear. After leaping for a fly, a fish splashes, and under the water, boulders take the shape of a woman napping. Driven by the Arctic wind, thunderclouds darken over the farms in the far fields. Suddenly, a small frog hops into the lake. The land becomes quiet as a chapel inside a church. After the lapping of waves, whisper of water fairies. The muffled wind becomes a creaking church door, and the crows mumble their caws as if they're not allowed to speak their language. Believe me when I say that now rain falls into the lake like pearls. Now Bridget steps out of her heroic in her nakedness and nobler than the sun. Thank you. Thank you. And this is called the Trinity of Nature. Beginning as a gale, the storm drove boats against the docks and waves against the breakwall. Making landfall, it became as strong frenzy, and for days the whirling rain darted from branch to branch, quenching fires. When the rain stopped, drops fell and the fire smoldered in the mountains. Dotting the forest, stump holes housed hot embers and the glowing tips of pine roots. In the afterlife of burnt leaves, the forest fills with infinite rebirth. Thank you. That's it.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for the last 6 months. I really appreciate being able to rely on you for anything in craft and anything in artistic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Julio Cesar Chavez, excuse me, Julio Cesar. Isn't that funny? I wrote down Chavez. I am so sorry. Aguilar is a man who puts elegance into his poetry, whether it's existential or social justice. He's one of the newest members of the Re-Evolutionary Poets Brigade, and we're so glad we have him with us. He's a professor at Baylor University. Please give some love to Julio.
Thank you, Jim, and everyone. I'm going to read 2 short poems in English and Spanish. I will begin reading in Spanish. El poema lo hacía la tarde. Invierno era, ¿cómo olvidarlo? La brisa bañaba el perfil de la tarde y un sol tibio a acariciar venía las hierbas del campo. El poema lo hacía la tarde. Con su callada alegría rimaba la claridad con la música que de los árboles emanaba. Tan felices éramos en los días aquellos, que todavía esa felicidad pervive en las cosas pequeñas y en los misterios que, solo por su fulgor, son en realidad alumbrados. Poem made by the afternoon. It was winter. Who could forget? Breeze was bathing the outline of the afternoon, and a tepid sun came to caress the grass of the fields. The poem was made by the afternoon. With muted joy, the bright sky rhymed with the music emanating from the trees. We were so happy in those days that happiness lives on in the small things and in the mysteries that are really only by that afternoon splendor brought back to light. El ensueño más puro, danza de orquídeas o delirio de mariposas en el que resurge así, maravillado y mudo, el mundo. Puntual en su sitio, la orquídea se deja ser lo que es. Una simple flor al filo de su aliento, infatigable mariposa en constante vuelo. Danza perpetua para el que mira. La orquídea verdaderamente es el más puro ensueño de la realidad. Purest fantasy. Dance of orchids and ecstasy of butterflies, in which the world resurges thus marvelous and mute. Punctual in its spot, the orchid lets itself be what it is, a simple flower on the edge of breath, untiring butterfly in constant flight, a dance for the onlooker perpetual. The orchid truly is the purest fantasy reality has to offer. Thank you.
Hermano, when I was a young man, I was windsurfing, and I put my windsurfer on the top of my Volkswagen van, and I drove the 8 hours down to Scammons Lagoon where the whales come in to have their babies. And I was windsurfing at a respectful distance. You could hear the whales breathing. There's so many of them, and they were with their young ones. And the sunrise that morning, after I had put my board in the water for a lot of that day, the sunrise the next morning was like one of your poems. Really, thank you so much for coming. Gloria Verdu, are you going to read something to us today? Or are you just a civilian?
Yeah, I was just listening in. I'm really enjoying this. I just got into San Diego just this morning, and I thought I would join in on this Zoom call. So it's just really refreshing. I'm just kind of getting myself back acclimated to being in beautiful San Diego with my daughter and stuff. Hi, Dolores. Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody. Yeah, just so good to be here. So thank you for doing this, Jim. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
I'm remembering when I first met you down in Balboa Park, and you were with the Answer Coalition, and I thought that you were lying about all of the things that were happening in Iraq. And I found out because you were telling the truth. And then I joined the Answer Coalition, and I thank you for that leadership all these years. That was back when I had hair. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. I'm enjoying this. I'm just a listener and just enjoying the vibes here. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, these people have kept me sane for a very long time. Bruce Gordon is one of the reasons I have a car, and I try to thank him for that over and over again. I met him when I first moved to San Diego in 1979, 1980, somewhere in there, where we both worked as mental health workers at Claremont Hospital, which is, I think, out of business now. That was a hospital that Muhammad Ali went to after Ken Norton broke his jaw in their fight together. Bruce is a man in those days who was really wanting to be an expert as a marriage and family therapist, and he read himself into exhaustion. And now he trains counselors. In the last couple of years, he's won an award for a book of poetry that got published about his experience with his first wife, Penny, and dealing with her Alzheimer's. He's another man who's the poster man for staying with your wife when things aren't going so well. He's a very talented writer. He's one of my best friends. This is Bruce Gordon.
Thank you, Jim. And Theresa, it's so good to feel your presence. I miss you. Here's my the one poet I have today. Pigeons light and poop on statues. Doves signify peace. The eagle holds in its talons the arrows of war. The crow caw can simply sound like a politician, bellicose without effect. And the mockingbird takes it all in and re-sings a morning song so delightful and inviting, I become willing to rise with great expectations. I am a man of peace who has wielded the weapons of war. I have lit on its monuments and profaned the memory. And like the crow, I have sounded shrill and obnoxious. But I find these songs make their nest in me to harmonize, dystonic, then symphonic. Lie to an, I screwed that up. I'm so sorry. Let me not harmonize a screech owl and a mourning dove. Let me agonize in keeping the inner gaggle and squawk alive. Alive in me is a country that enslaves and brutalizes humans for corporate gain. Alive in me is a country willing to fight a war to stop such atrocity. Alive in me is a country willing to give back to the losers of that war all they had lost. May I not fall prey to inclusionist talk that takes the teeth out of opposition. That's it. I fucked the whole thing. God damn it.
I don't think that line of poetry I screwed up. I'm sorry. It really belongs in that poem at all.
I don't think so. The whole thing got messed up.
I like to say that Bruce is a Vietnam veteran, and he was stationed in Vietnam near Saigon at an air base that was shelled every day with mortars or rockets. And so I want to thank you for your service. You too, Joe. Thank you for your service. And they tell me to save the best for last. We have two more poets that are going to read for you. Angelique's going to read last with us her second poem. But this lady is been around for a long time. She had a poetry gathering like this one. It was called Poetic Brew. It was down at a place down in North Park called Claire de Lune's. And she treated all of us like we were kings and queens. We were all scared at that time. This was the early 90s. And she has since moved to Seattle. And we just, all of us really love her that have been around for that length of time. This is Cheryl Lateef.
Hello, everybody. And thank you, Jim. You always give me a wonderful introduction. I'm going to read two poems tonight. The first one is a poem that I actually planned to read. And the second one is, given what I've heard today, something that I pulled up to read. This first one is dedicated to my son. I lived in Venice Beach in those times, and I had a home birth. And Anyway, this poem was written on his 25th birthday. It was quite a long time ago. But here it is. It's called The Air Between Us. I can still taste the grace of that morning. Sun streaming through the bedroom window, steam rising from the bath, the sound of labor giving way to birdsong at dawn. So peaceful. You slept your first day, awoke brief moments, looked around, determined everything's right with the world. They came one after another to witness your light in that small craftsman house. Here was no ordinary child. You entered the world hungry for all it has to give, have fed those around you with joy and understanding. You whom I've known since a seed within me, you to whom I wrote love notes all those months, you whose gentle spirit was clear long before your face graced my eyes. You never kicked, just swam the warm ocean of my womb. You often asked, remember when we were small and I couldn't recall our sibling spirits playing together. Only you could, bringing our hearts closer, as though we could be closer. I can still taste the grace of that morning. There is still no lovelier sight than your face. Thank you. And this is a completely different mood. I pull this up because there are so many beautiful politically minded poems read today. This is a very old poem. I wrote it when I still lived in San Diego in 1998. And it's called Checkpoint. I'm cruising up the 5, listening to radio jive, alive with jazz riffs and pictures in my mind of the weekend ahead of me. Cruising at 80, I've hit my stride, riding free till I hit the border check, hit the brakes, slow down, but never have to stop for these guys in green. They call them officers of the law, but they can be a lawless bunch, protecting our borders from those tired and poor once welcome to our shores. They hardly give me a glance, but there'd be no second chance had I dark eyes, dark hair, dark skin, a car in need of repair. But this gringa goes on. This gringa goes on to rev the engine, fire it all back up, push past the speed limit, move on to what's next, the limitless privilege of being young, white, and free. Thank you.
From Seattle to Maryland, we have covered the country today. I'm so glad that the lady that started us out today is going to read a second poem. Angeli is so young, but she reads like a very wise crone. This is Angeli Nunn.
Rise like a phoenix. You have seen them, the naysayers, the cravers of attention. Do not mention their names, not in front of me, for I am righteous, and I will live my best life to outweigh all of the strife they put out into the world. I am unfurled, yet at the same time crippled, as I hurl words of rage at the wall, for I have taken the fall and I still stand tall, for after all I am a warrior of sorts, where I've healed my hurts. Let the naysayers come, let them think they've won, yet I have hung my towel up to dry, for I need not try, I simply am. I am human, the race that made time stand still. I have a will of steel, I kneel not, for I have got what it takes to make the earth shake with my words. I will herd the crowds like a shepherd tethered to my courage. I don't need storage for my insults, I need a stand with a microphone. Let me hone in my guilt, for I have built a mountain of fraying sentences that will never mention their names, never bring me to fame. Yet as I aim to inspire such that I can never retire, I will not lower my sword. for words are my weapons, and I will never second guess the mess I've made of my life. This is my life to live, my time to give, my time for reckoning to come on the stage, beckoning for you to follow me for the second coming. I am running amok with emotion, yet this potion doesn't faze me. Let me drink to the rise of this phoenix, to the beat of her wings. Let me sing aloud my poetic beat for all to hear. This is my life. Let no naysayer get in the way, for I am here to stay. Thank you.
Dolores, do you have the energy for another poem for us before we end it for the day?
Yeah, it's one of my newer ones, and I'm still working on it, but yeah.
Thank you.
It's entitled Love. When I was young, Dionne Warwick gently nurtured me. She inoculated my ripped apart, broken soul heart with a sister's sonic embrace. Melodic intervals, chromatic chords. She began to call the dissonance, the ascending assemblage of notes, the Jacob's ladder, soldiers of the cross moments. So many times her song cradled me, until harmony in a cautionary sister's plea covered my young, careless, luckless love life like an old scar on thin, bleeding, constantly oozing skin. A jumbo box of tissues, an old lumpy couch, a stereo cranked up too loud, a record too scratchy, a soft feather pillow, and my roommate Jack yelling in the background, "I'm working the late shift tonight at the bar. Would you please get over this?" Thank you.
Well, this is not car talk, so I'm not going to end today with the way they did. This is Second Sunday Jimmy Poetry, and I would like to acknowledge Jimmy Collins' spirit with us today, the Black Panther spirit, with the 10 issue program for jobs for all of us, safety for all of us, education for all of us, and diversity for all of us. I'd like to read from Timothy Snyder's little book on tyranny. Mr. Alfred Williams gave me this book today when we had our lunch earlier today. And I opened it up into two places just spontaneously. And this was the second place that I opened it to on chapter 4. It says, "Take responsibility for the face of the world." And I like to say this in memory of Jimmy Collins. The symbols of today enable the reality of tomorrow. Notice the swastikas and the other signs of hate. Do not look away and do not get used to them. Remove them yourself and set an example for others to do so. I'd like to thank President Biden for the speech he made a couple of days ago. I think that speech was embodied by that quote from Mr. Snyder. He goes on to say, life is political, not because the world cares about how you feel, but because the world reacts to what you do. The minor choices we make are themselves a kind of vote, making it more or less likely that free and fair elections will be held in the future. In the politics of the everyday, our words and gestures or their absence count very much. A few extreme and less extreme examples from the 20th century can show us how. And Chris Ernest Nelson will probably remind all of us that, know your history so you don't repeat it. I wrote this poem a little while ago. It's called A Lesson from the Ancestors. A Native American powwow is a sacred event. Gourd dancers, traditional dancers, grass dancers, jingle bell dancers, fancy dancers assemble for the grand entry, which begins each powwow. And don't forget the Indian tacos, fry bread, beans, hamburger, cheese, lettuce, tomatoes. I came here today to find inspiration to write a poem. I found a small wall and sat overlooking Grandmother Ocean, listening to the teams of native drums singing songs of Kumeyaay, Dene, Kulpa, and Lakota warriors, come to honor the ancestors and show respect for all relations. I finished the taco and started to write a poem to an amazing poet, Deborah Ramos. I finished most of a page and an Indian elder walks up to me and says, "Excuse me, are you writing a poem?" I stopped writing. I was not annoyed. I knew he had something to teach me. I showed respect. I put down my pen. White cowboy hat, turquoise earring in his right ear, seams in his cowboy shirt straight as an arrow. He's a walking, talking native poem. His regalia reminds me of Deborah's sky dog painting, the handle on horses by the first people of Turtle Island. He says there's times in his life when he lives a poem. He said once he was walking on the res when he saw 4 horses grazing in a meadow. He said all 4 sky dogs walked over to him. He said he talked to each of them, thanking them for their medicine, stroked their flanks, smoothed their manes. I asked him if he's clean and sober. He said he had 40 years without alcohol and drugs. He told me he's a Marine Corps Vietnam veteran. He pointed over my left shoulder. That's my son. He's a Marine on his way to war. Then he shook my hand and walked away. Now the words flow from my pen like horses at a gallop. I know I've received a lesson from a long, long time ago. Thank you for being with us today. Can we give some more love for Theresa F., please? And her wonderful, wonderful words and her poems. Thank you so much, my sister. Can we give some love for Mr. Alfred Williams? Kept us safe today. Thank you, Alfred. Thank you so much. I'd like to kind of end in a different way today. Barbara Huntington had a stroke. A lot of us know her. She got out of ICU a few days ago. And Janice Alper, 2 elders who just have charmed us over the years. Janice Alper had an operation on her spine, and I haven't heard how she's doing at all. I'm wondering if we could just take a moment and send each of those wonderful poets some positive energy. And here we go. Thank you very much. Keep writing. Come back next month. You keep me sane. You are my America, even if you're in England. You are my America. And I will see you next month. We'll be here for Black History Month. We're waiting to see what the science says about the COVID. We might be in person back at the Space Bar, but if it's not safe, we'll just do virtual again. God bless you. I love you very much.
Bye all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Now, if I remember correctly, I need to move very carefully right now.
I'm recording on my end, so we're good.
So I don't have to stay on here and
No, I'm gonna. It should download to my computer.
Okay.
I'm recording on my end. All right.
Thank you for taking care of that. What'd you think of the event today?
It was nice, man. It was nice. They're always nice. You know, I enjoyed myself.
Me
Yeah,
too.
it's a lot of nice work, man.
Me too. Good people, huh?
Very good people.
Well,
Very good people.
I'm not gonna have to eat until tomorrow. That
That
was
was-
such a good sandwich. I'm glad we got to do that.
Me too. Yeah, that was good. It's been a good day. I needed it. I needed it. All right, we'll talk soon, my friend.
Okay, I'm gonna
I'm
get
glad
out
that
of
book came in handy. You whipped that out, man.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna go for a walk now because I've been, except for our time together, you know, with our picnic, I've been inside most of the day. I'm gonna go for a walk and then I'm gonna read some more of that book. Thank you it's a nice gift. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome, my friend.
All right, take care.